Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to be talking about the upcoming event, Makeup and Halloween, and man, is this going to be a great event that you definitely do not want to miss. We are going to be getting a free MLB SSR Wit card, and it is going to be meta for your frontrunners. So if you like frontrunners, you absolutely do not want to miss this. And with the recent skill changes, this card is actually going to be usable right off the bat. We're not going to have to wait for updates that actually buff it. And so it is going to be a top tier card. And if you're building frontrunners, it's going to almost be a must have. And so if we go ahead and take a look at it, though, we're going to look at the event first before we look at the support card. There are going to be some slight changes. And then who knows if they'll actually make even more changes because we've gotten other things in advance. But right now we do know certain things that will be coming with it. So right off the bat, we have the playable characters that are going to kind of get your bonuses. Remember, it's going to be just like other events where as you do the career and stuff, you're going to earn points towards that wheel as well as gaining rewards. Rice Shower and Super Creek, of course, are going to be the main ones alongside Mihono Bourbon, as they're like the Umas that are kind of featured here. Mihono Bourbon being the support card, Rice Shower and Super Creek, of course, being the playable Umas that also have ults that'll be coming out. So really, really good there. Then you have the support cards we're going to get bonus points to here, which is also going to include Tamamo Cross and Xenorob Roy. They're the ones that are going to be the featured gotcha cards. I'll be talking about the alt Umas that'll be dropping and support cards in a separate video here, probably tonight. I'll be making that while I'm live and then post that tomorrow. So we have those, and then you also, of course, have the Tamamo Cross, Super Creek, Stamina card, Rice Shower, Mihono Bourbon cards, also all getting bonuses, including their SR and rare variants there. And this is going to actually be quite important in terms of not only when it comes to earning this daily currency for the wheel, but when it comes to the rewards and the point rewards. Now, one of the big changes here is going to be important, especially for those that play, maybe don't push as hard on this. You actually have a reason to want to push hard. Now, the main goal you originally had, if you looked at it, like the rewards are good overall, but the main goal was to always get to the 400,000 point goal to get your copy, effectively the last copy needed to MLB the free support card, which you absolutely want to make sure you do here. This is a very good support card. But there is a new currency added. As you know, we got that one crystal that you can use to raise the limit break of a support card. There is a shard version of it that you need 20 of to make one of those. And so basically getting a free support card limit break is going to be very, very good and very useful in the future, especially if you're a free-to-play, because it's going to be one of the main ways that you're going to be able to top up some of the best cards that will be coming out later. Those shards are going to be in the shop as well, with the first one coming out at the 300,000 points. So you're going to get this on the way to getting your last copy of your support card. But then as you go down, you have another one at the 600,000 points. And then as you continue down, you have another one at that 920,000. Now, most people never pushed hard enough to try and reach these if you're more casual. And you never really needed a reason. Like, I mean, the rewards are nice as you get up here, but they're nothing crazy that you need to, you're just continuously grinding for, doing a ton of careers. But now you have actually something of value that is quite high up there. And so you have 3 of them in here. Now, there'll be other sources of these shards as well. But this is one of them, and there's 3 here. So if you think about that, you're basically able to get a limit break about every 5 to 6 months, depending on how the accelerated schedule goes. And so you can pretty much go ahead and kind of think of it as every new scenario from just the event, you should be able to get about 1 limit break crystals worth from these events. Now, there are other sources from what I understand, so this isn't going to be the only source, so you should be able to earn them a little bit quicker. But just know that you definitely don't want to miss these if you're willing to play a lot. And even and this may, for some people, make it actually worth your while to use some cards that maybe you don't, especially when it comes to your parent run, just because they do give you that bonus to your the points you earn overall. So just know to take that, you'll get some value out of that. But the big thing that is a very, very good and what is you do not want to miss on this event is going to be the Mihono Bourbon Wit card. So this, originally, it wasn't going to be good right off the bat. You were always still going to want to get it, and you wanted to get it in MLB it, but you weren't going to be able to take full advantage of it until the anniversary. But now that we've gotten the skill update now, this card is going to be very, very good right out the gate. And so this is the Mihono Bourbon Wit card, MLB. So when you look at the stat sticks here, you have built-in 5% training effectiveness and initial wit of 20, friendship bonus of 20%, wit friendship recovery 5, nice. Most of the I think all the SRs are 4, and then you have like fine motion, which has 5. So you basically get the same recovery as like a fine motion. Special priority 20, low, which is pretty good, because you don't want it always hitting wit. You have some training effectiveness, and you want it to float around a little bit. That's pretty nice right there. You have mood effect, initial friendship gauge, race bonus 5%. Now, this is going to be important to take note of going into Make a New Track, because race bonus is going to be very, very important there. And when we talk about that, you're going to want to have a target of 60%. 50% is kind of the minimum race bonus you want, but you really want 60. And you generally avoid the 5% cards, but the few mandatory ones to a certain extent, this is one of them. Yukino's kind of another one because that one has no stopping me. This has the Frontrunner's version, a Frontrunner gold skill that you pretty much must have built in. Adds speed bonus 1 right here, so you get speed off of it, which is really nice, and then initial wit of 30. But the stat stick is not why it's good. It's not even that crazy of a stat stick. It's okay, but it is not the reason. Now, you do have Frontrunner straightaways and Frontrunner corners built in as hints, with only 4 hints. So very, very nice. And then especially nice when it's a snowy days champions meeting you're building for. But what makes it great is it's gold down here, taking the lead. Plus it has focus and Moxie, so you can get a hint on Moxie for save or Summer Maruzensky. Taking the lead is the gold version of early lead. Now, if you've watched prior videos with the skill buffs, early lead was basically like another variation similar to groundwork, except it doesn't have conditions like groundwork. Now, it's not as long. It's only 1.2 seconds, but it's a 0.2 acceleration. So that alongside groundwork is really going to get you out the gate. Now we're going to have taking the lead, which is a 0.4 excel coming right out the gate. Groundwork being a 0.2. So if you have this alongside groundwork, you're going to have a 1.2 second 0.6 acceleration. And then once this one falls off, groundwork will finish its, I think groundwork's 3 seconds. So you'll still have groundwork after this one falls off. But this is going to shoot you way, way far ahead. And anyone that does not have this, it's going to be a noticeable difference. Even with, I've seen it a little bit, because we do have access to the skill currently. Now, I'm not crazy enough to farm this, but those that built Frontrunners going into, say, Virgo Cup, which is currently going on, if you wanted to go hardcore into building a top tier Frontrunner, which really isn't meta, which is why I think a lot of people didn't put in the effort to do this, you had to go through her event chain 3 times. Now, you think, oh, that's not that big a deal. You have a 50-50 at the end, which we've seen with other ones. That's worthwhile to ground. It's a 50-50 3 times. You take the top option here, you either go to the next event or it's ended. You either get Leader's Pride and go to the next event, or it's ended. Then you either get taking the lead or you get early lead. So it has that 50-50 at the end and 50-50 in the other 2. Atrocious grind. Get it. This has none of that. Now this one has a 3-chained event, but there is no 50-50 with it. And in the first one, you do have the choice to take a Moxie hint. So if you're using Summer Maruzensky, for example, you can get a discount there, which is pretty nice. And then taking the lead. Plus, you have access to focus, which on Frontrunners, you're always going to start trying to have high wit now. And something I'm willing to gamble on my Frontrunners a little bit more now is, at least currently, down the line, once greens get a little bit easier access, taking the lead counts towards triggering groundwork as well as focus. And so if you're building a very high wit, which is pretty much mandatory in front runners now, you absolutely need taking the lead the trigger. So I count that as one of my triggers for groundwork. And then concentration slash focus is also very good to help get you out the gate faster. I mean, you want the acceleration, but you also want to get out the gate faster. So I count both of these as greens. And so you're already got 2 out of the 3 needed going into triggering groundwork. So very, very good there as well. So a must-have for front runners. I will be using the only thing that's a negative. I will say the only negative about this card, and this, some people will see this and be like, well, that kind of sucks. It is Mihono Bourbon wit, which means you won't be able to use it on Mihono Bourbon herself when she drops, which I know a lot of people are going to use her. Not this version of her. The Valentine's Mihono Bourbon. She's very good because she literally has everything else built into her. She has fast-paced, focused, escaped artist, concentration, groundwork. She even has early lead. But she does not have taking the lead, which is a negative, and the one only negative of her in that aspect. She has everything else, literally. So you can't use it for her. And I know a lot of people will be pulling for her as her front runner, but everyone else, she's going to be a meta wit card to use. And she's going to be good. She's going to, with the race bonus of 5, she will be usable in Make a New Track. You just have to build around her with the 15% support cards, because you definitely want to try and at least get that 60% race bonus if possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it on this event. It is one of the better SSRs that we're going to be getting. We'll also be getting another good one in a future event that actually has 15% race bonus. On occasion, these free ones are pretty good, and you do not want to miss them. And so that'll be pretty much it, though, for the Halloween event. Looking forward to it. But I will be going over the support cards, and the Uma's coming out here in a future video, probably coming out here in a day or so. But that's it for now, and if you like my content, if you like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps, and thanks for watching.